I am a citizen of a country with a long history of committing acts against civilians.
In my opinion, that man lied. I think the guy is a con artist.
Well, he also promised the people of Flint that he was going to put money back into the city of Flint. And I don't believe the city of Flint has seen a dime.
I lived in Davison, Michigan, which is about 10 miles outside of Flint. You probably know Flint as the hometown of controversial filmmaker Michael Moore. Well, I knew Mike pretty well, in fact. I grew up with him.
Excellent. Kevin Leffler from Davison.
Oh, I remember you.
Long time.
Mike has made millions, and I mean millions, off of Flint.
Mm-hmm. Me and Fred Ross was the two main characters in that movie. Well, Mike made $3 million off his movie, and he ain't helped anybody. He ain't helped the little people at all. He didn't help me at all. When my house caught on fire and when I filed bankruptcy and when I needed the help badly, he acted like I didn't even exist and I wasn't even in the picture.
I had two very fine parents who taught me that we will be judged by how we treat the least among us.
He don't fight for the little man, he fights for himself. For the big man.
The week before Christmas, the Friday before, he said, we just don't have the capital to keep you working. I'm going to have to lay you off. And now I want you to go apply for unemployment because you've worked hard and you deserve that. And he says, you know, it's not your fault.
So before
I said,
Christmas,
okay.
Merry Christmas sort of thing, and hit the road.
Right. So of course he got the notice the very next week.
Right.
And
right.
he called me at home. He was pretty upset that I had filed for unemployment.
Why? Why are you doing the things you are doing? Why are you laying these people off?
Moose claims that Mike cut his word 5 different times to get him to say what Mike wanted him to say.
Not editing the tape. In my movie, I show you the raw footage.
Let's see what Moose Fitch has to say about Mike Moore.
I feel that my country should know that, in my opinion, that man lied. He cut out my words.
Not only does Mike mislead people like Susie and Moose Fitch, he distorts their words for his own profit. Mike also routinely uses people he has never even met.
I felt violated in some way. I felt like I'd been taken advantage of by a guy I hadn't even met or never had contacted me.
Never asked for your permission.
Never asked for no, never anything. He'd never even been to Walter Reed. So that's the God's honest truth. I have no reason to lie to you. I'm not lying. I'm not the liar here. Michael Moore is the liar.
Having claimed both his New York and Michigan properties as a primary residence, he has signed false documents under the penalty of perjury. Yet, by filing these papers, he was able to save $13,000 a year in taxes on his property in Michigan.
What he had essentially done was kind of double dipping on his tax write-off. You know, he was saying this is a charitable foundation, but he's paying his bills with it. I think that, didn't somebody just go to jail for something like that? Some head of Tyco or something like that, using the company as his own personal checkbook?
Mike claims that corporations are evil and that he doesn't own a single share of stock in any company. Mike's stock selection doesn't end with oil. His most common investments were in drug and HMO companies, who he accuses of letting people be sick or die rather than letting their profits sag. But the most surprising investment I found was Mike owning stock in a little company called Halliburton, formerly run by Vice President Dick Cheney. With a property this beautiful, you would think Mike would want to treasure and protect it because, surely, Mike is a big environmentalist. Through the Freedom of Information Act, I learned that Mike is really not one of them. Mike was cited for violations of environmental law. And was required to restore the wetland he had violated.
I had a couple questions I wanted to ask you. Are you proud about Osama?
I'm sorry,
you know,
what'd you say?
how he quoted you before the presidential election?
What's your watch? Okay, let me call you back.
Is that something you're proud of?
What are you talking about?
Osama bin Laden quoted Fahrenheit 9/11 before the election. Is that something you're proud of?
What did he say?
الظاهر in the bush. It seems that Bush occupying himself by talking to the little girl about the goat and its budding was more important than occupying himself with the planes and the abutting the skyscrapers. All praise is due to Allah.
And he said, you don't understand. I love this country. And he insists that he loves this country. And he says, I love what this country could be and should be. And that's a ludicrous proposition. I came back to him and I said, well, try that with your wife sometime, sir. Say, I love this woman based upon what she should be. If she'd lose some weight, if she'd get her nose fixed, if she'd have her teeth straightened, if she'd learn to speak better, then I could really love her. I love her not for what she is, but what she could be. Well, if you said that to your wife, she'd probably punch you out.
The bottom line is this: Michael Moore will do anything and say anything that benefits Mike. Mike is not out to help the little man. He's out to help one big man, Michael Moore, and nobody else.